Hey everyone. So today's topic, divination. This is day 5 of the October YouTube pagan vlog challenge. Every time I say it, it's a mouthful. But it's a fun mouthful, right? So, divination. I am not a super fan of divination, honestly. I will tell you a couple of stories, moving backwards, but I know what my divination is, and I'm not a fan of the way that I have it. Mine is in dreams. I dislike it a great deal. So a little backstory on me is I had a rough childhood. Most of us have had a rough childhood. Um, and so, it's not that mine was necessarily any worse than anybody else's or anything like that, but I went through a lot of things, and some of them were really horrendous from about the time I was 3 years old. Now, because of that, I've had nightmares, like about myself, about things in general, monsters and stuff like that, ever since I was about 3. And there's no way for me to control that. It's my brain reforming things and trying to help me through what had happened to me. But those dreams scared me so much. I hated going to sleep. I couldn't sleep some of the time. Some days I still have trouble. I'm terrified of the dark, by the way. I'm a 37-year-old who is literally so afraid of the dark. I still cannot sleep without either somebody right next to me or the lights have to be on in the house. And there are sometimes, even when my guy is right next to me, I'll turn every single light in the house on before I go to bed because I cannot be comfortable enough to fall asleep because my dreams bother me so much. Anyways, that is also my form of divination. Here comes the story of divination, right? I didn't realize I had it for a while. It wasn't until I was married, actually, I think. Yeah, I was married when I had dreams when I was younger about houses and like people that I knew, and the houses were real and I'd never seen them before. But the things that were happening in the houses weren't real. Those were my nightmares coming to get me. And so when I was younger, I had a hard time pulling those apart. It was really hard for me. But as an adult, I could understand the difference and see beyond, just a few things. I could tell the difference between the nightmare and the divination, I guess you could say. And dream divination, I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of it in any way, shape, or form at all. But so here's the story. I was married and I woke up from a weird, strange dream. I had 2 kids. I was driving a van that broke down and I was getting a divorce. And I have a notebook that I used to keep, a dream journal. And I had this in it. I showed it to my girls, I think a couple years ago. And I think I even gave my dream journal to my daughter, my oldest, because she was interested in it because it had to do a lot with the time that me and her father were together. But it was so weird. I'd gone back to read my dreams, and it was after me and him got divorced, and it was weird. I owned a van. At the time that I went back to read it, I owned a van, and we had just gotten beyond our divorce, like just barely. And I mean, there was even other things in there that I can't remember right now that were more defined, and that scared me. Like totally scared the crap out of me. I used to want to know, what are my dreams telling me? Oh my gosh. I don't. I really don't. Nope. Nope. Don't want to know. I don't like how close it hit to home, but I do like other aspects of some divination. When I was pregnant with Jasmine, it was the first time I'd ever heard of any kind of pendulum, I guess. And you have to realize when I was pregnant with Jasmine, my oldest, I was married to a very religious man. But we were told to go to a local like It's not really like a pagan shop or anything like that, but they have holistic stuff there, but they don't call it a holistic shop either. It's called Alpenglow, but it is a holistic style shop. It has a lot of herbs and natural goods and stuff like that. And it used to be the only one here in town. Now we have two natural good places. My town is really small, by the way. But so we had gone there when I was pregnant, and somebody suggested it because I was a couple weeks late with Jasmine, and it was getting really hard for me. And they suggested that I go get something that could help encourage contractions. So I did. It was black cohosh, by the way. So I did go, and that's when I found out about pendulums. The lady who was running the natural goods place, she told me to use my body as a pendulum, kind of. And that was so weird. I've shown this to other people too, and I don't do it anymore. I used to a lot. But using your body as a pendulum is the strangest feeling ever. Like the strangest. It's you stand and you like take a couple deep breaths with your eyes closed, and you just like with a regular pendulum, you know what is yes, what is no, and if you want beyond yes and no, then you have to still ask that. But you're using your body instead, which is harder to, I don't know, for some people it seems harder to acknowledge that because your body moves when you ask it questions. And it's only good for your body. Like you can't ask it actual future stuff very much, like unless it's very specific. Like I could ask it, when I was going to have the baby. I mean, I could have done that. I didn't. I really didn't. I didn't want to know. It scared me a little bit. Divination scares me, as I said. But you stand there and you take your deep breaths and you close your eyes, and I hope you guys try it because it's the weirdest feeling ever and it is kind of cool. But you have to open yourself up to it too, okay? And you can only ask it stuff about your body. Like it's not going to work, on relationships or, anything like that. It's just you. It's just about you. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's part of the reason why I like it so much. But anyway, so you stand there. You stand and you take your deep breaths, and when your mind is calm and your body is grounded, you ask your body what is yes, and your body will move. Like it will move. And then you ask it what is no, and again, your body will move. And it's a very strange feeling, like a super strange feeling. After that, you can then ask it yes or no questions, and whichever direction your body falls, and it doesn't actually fall, it just kind of like tips, okay, is the answer. So if you try it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your experience with it and stuff like that. But anyways, that's what I did while I was pregnant with Jasmine, and that was an experience because, I have this giant, huge belly on me. I gained 100, I'm a 90-pound woman, by the way, and I went all the way up to 150 pounds with my daughter. I was huge. My belly was so big, but my body still, reacted accordingly. And the idea was to ask it whether or not the black cohosh would work for me, which it did work for me. So, I mean, I got the answer and stuff like that, but I find it entertaining. Some aspects of divination entertaining. The ways that people go about it can be entertaining, and that's the aspects I like about it. I like the fun aspect of divination. I don't like the scary aspect of divination. So I don't really want to know like my exact future. I don't want to know that, which I think is why I lean more towards tarot cards. I'm not going to say I'm really, really good at tarot cards because I'm not. I've only been doing them for a couple of months, but I am very intuitive at tarot readings. I don't generally read for other people. I read for myself, and I do. Locally, we have a lady who hosts weekly tarot learning sessions, I guess, where a bunch of us get together and we just sit and we do tarot for each other just to practice. And it is fun. It's a fun experience, and it's involved and it's engaging and it's getting to meet new people, and I just really like it. And so I have my favorite tarot deck too. I didn't bring them to show you because I didn't feel the need to like show you, but it's Shadowscapes. If you want to look it up, you can. It's a watercolor based deck, really pretty, and I knew like the minute I grabbed it, it was my deck. And it's mine. Like, I do my personal tarot stuff with it. And I'm actually creating my own tarot spread via the Fairy Star. So I'm really excited about that. I don't have it down yet, but I'm working on it. And I do want to become better and better at tarot. The hard part is I don't always like reading for other people. And it's because other people tend to like impose. And I know I've talked about imposing before, but I have a big thing with energy, and I'm empathic, and I don't like being imposed upon at all. It's very rough and hard on me, and I don't want that like consistently there in my space. And like even just thinking about it makes my, my skin's all nasty, and I don't want to. But I don't mind doing it for people that I like. I just don't want to do it for strangers. I hope that makes sense. And I guess I've watched other people on YouTube do, beautiful tarot. There are people I follow that do the most wonderful tarot readings, and they're so intuitive, and they have these giant spreads of cards, and they just talk, and all this stuff comes out, and I'm like, wow, how did you do that? Like, how? I want to know how to do that, even though I don't want to do it for other people. I just want to know how. I want to learn it. I want to experience it for myself, So, as far as divination goes, I have a arm's length with it. I don't want to, and I generally protect myself from it, because it scares me. I don't want to know my future. I don't want to know my children's future. It's scary and bothers me. Do I know I have it? Yes. Do I want it? No. I'm not like some people. I am so grateful that I don't have it consistently, like during the day. I'm not bombarded with things or anything like that, and I am so grateful for that, because I don't know what I would do. Probably find some way to protect myself with crystals or something away from it, because I wouldn't be able to handle it. Part of knowing yourself is knowing your limitations. Divination is a limitation that I have, and it's a pretty hard limitation. And it's so bad that I suppress my dreams to the point I don't remember anything. I refuse to remember it. And if I do remember it, I try to forget it as quickly as possible. There are nights I wake up cold sweats straight up in bed, and my guy will be like, dude, what's wrong? And I'm like, don't ask me. I don't want to know. And I go back to sleep if I can. And if I can't, I will find something to do that gets my brain completely away from it. And I'll admit there's times when it doesn't go so well. But I don't like dreaming about people dying that I know. And I don't like dreaming about what's going to happen to me. And I don't like it at all. And this video ended up being a little darker than what I wanted. I'm sorry for that. But I think everybody else's take on it is going to be more positive, and they'll probably have some great stories. And I've watched some of the videos. I hope you guys go watch them too. It's crazy to see, but I don't necessarily think it's crazy. I think it's fun to see different people's take on it, of divination. And because when I walked into it, I was thinking, oh yeah, everybody's gonna do tarot. But that's not true, because that's not the only form of divination. There's tea leaves, there's tarot, there's pendulums, there's dream divination, and even a cloud divination, apparently, which I did not know about until recently. So, thank you for listening this far, and I will see you guys again tomorrow.